Yo, welcome back to another video, everybody. We're doing another daily trade session recap. Let's get right into it. Enough of this chit chat. Nothing else to talk about. Let's go. All right, 4-hour time frame, higher time frame read on the Dow. This demand zone got mitigated. Price has been pushing higher, trending bullish from here. Okay, there's a potential supply zone up here which did break structure. Down here, broke structure. However, we are not there yet. And even if we do get there, we're going to need a distribution schematic to take place. So we're not even worried about shorts right now. We're just thinking about longs. Pause. All right, let's go to the NASDAQ. Similar, we have this sweep of liquidity, which was an inducement. It took out these lows. And then from there, price pushed higher, swept this supply zone, which was the last point of supply on the 4-hour. Broke structure. We are trending bullish as well. Let's go on the 1-hour time frame real quick. Nothing really different on the 1-hour. Pretty similar to the 4-hour. You can see we're trending bullish. 15-minute. This is where things get juicy, where we could really analyze the charts. Let's see. Price tapped into this demand zone, correct? Came up, broke structure. It's been trending bullish. There is this supply zone up here, which formed equal highs with the Asian and New York session. Right here, equal highs. So that's something to keep in mind, which is why I'm expecting the supply zone to fail. It gave a beautiful reaction, a bearish reaction. There was a NFP that released earlier today, which is why this bearish candle came into play. But am I going to look for shorts from here? This is a supply zone. People are going to short from here, guaranteed. Why? They're going to say, oh, we had a bearish break of structure. No, we're not going to short from here. Why? Because we have this liquidity up here. We have London session highs up here. Just too much nonsense over here for us to short. We don't take those type of trades. All right. Now, let's look at the NASDAQ as well. NASDAQ, similar situation. Price had a smart money trap right here. It broke structure, bearish. Got swept during the Asian session. Price consolidated, which is moving, waiting for the NFP to release at 8:30 a.m. It released, it formed equal highs up here, boom, big bearish candle. And then what can we see? There was a demand zone left behind, which induced this trend line here and caused a bullish break that broke this high up here. So just keep that in mind. What do we see? The Dow and the NASDAQ are both at demand zones. Just keep that in mind. That's just something to pay attention to. So now we're in a demand zone. I'm going to skip to 9:30 because that's when my trading session really starts. And we'll see what happens. 9:30, this is the NASDAQ. This is the Dow at 9:30. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. That's the NASDAQ at 9:30. Now, I do not see any valid trades for me to take right now. At this moment, I'm waiting for confirmation. That's all I'm doing. So I'm going to play the NASDAQ because that's where my first trade of the day came. But I was monitoring both. I could see some consolidation. Now, quickly, let's look at the Dow. Oh, the Dow made a big bullish move. Correct. The Dow had also mitigated this supply zone. Correct. But what did I tell myself prior to this trading session? I do not care if this supply zone holds. I will not trade this supply zone. Price tapped in. Food for thought. We'll come back to this. Let's say you did take this trade. Let's see what happens. Like, it could very well play out, but in the long term, over a series of trades, this is not a good trade. And we'll see what happens. Let's say you're in this trade. We're going to go analyze the NASDAQ right now. Let's see. Waiting for confirmation. We're in a demand zone. Let's see. Okay, a nice bullish candle. We're still waiting. I want to see this high get taken out. And we get it. Right here. That was the bullish break I wanted to see. I had this marked out as my demand zone. And that was my entry. Today was a big show of patience for me. And you'll see later, but I started off the trading day pretty well. I ended strong. It's just in the middle I had a little lapse, as you're going to see shortly. But boom, 1 to 3 RR. That's my target. That was my first trade. Let's see. Price came literally ticks super close to tapping me in. Never did. Instead, what happened? Price produced another bullish break of structure up here. So now at this point, I'm thinking, okay, price formed a base, broke structure. I'm gonna take this decisional instead. And I'm sure my entry was somewhere over here. So I just deleted those limits from down there, entered off of this. Stops below that low, something like that. Targeted about 3R up here, 3R. Okay, now let's see what happens. Consolidation once again. Okay, finally we get tapped in. What time is it that we get tapped in this trade? 11:10. My trading session ends 11:30, so I take no trades after 11:30. So given this, I can see, okay, price is moving a little bit. I did have this marked out. I had this potential breaker structure, because you always have to play devil's advocate when you're trading, because you can never be 100% right. So just play devil's advocate and it'll help you accept the risk that you're placing on the trade. Just understand you could get stopped out. The sellers could take over here. Why? I wouldn't take this trade personally, given that we're overall bullish. We're reacting off a demand zone here. So I wouldn't take sells from here. However, I could see it. People think big bearish move. You made a retracement to this Fibonacci level. You could see a 1 minute breaker structure. This supply zone could hold. People are definitely selling from there. However, I had it marked out as a supply because you don't know if it's a smart money trap until it happens. So it's still a supply zone, just not one I would trade from. What do I see? Boom. Bullish break right up in here. Got a 1 minute break. And then right here, this was confirmed that this was a smart money trap. And here's something I could change with my trading right here. I'm gonna get into it shortly. But I had my stops at break even now because we had a 1 minute break. Stops are right there. Let's see what happens. Continues higher, goes about halfway to my take profit, stops me out. Now, what should I have done instead? In hindsight, it's not just in hindsight, but since my take profits are at 3R, it's either full TP at 3R or 50% volume. So what should I do? Does it make sense for me to sacrifice this trade? Because that's basically what happened. Just to catch break. Like, what's the difference between me having my stops at break even versus me covering these lows? Right here. We got the 1 minute break, cover the lows. Why? Because this was the low that led to the high that broke structure. Price can easily revisit this zone because this is a valid demand zone. It could revisit that and it could continue higher easily. But I'm not in this trade anymore because I got stopped out at break even right there. So from now on, that's my rule. This first break of structure, I move my stop loss. I reduce risk by moving my stop loss to structure. And then let's say, for instance, we get another break above here. Then I will move my stops to break even because we got a second break. So this will be where I break even right there. But right now, I should have had my stops right here. I should have moved stops up here. So stop loss is right there. Let's see what happens. Okay. What do I see? We got the break even stop loss. We got the break even protocol in play. Stops are at break even. That's what should have happened. But it's just data. It's just what I have to implement from now on, especially considering that I trade 3RR take profits. All right. Let's go back to our friend, the Dow. Let's see what happened. Boom. As you can see, price tapped you in, gave you a little bearish move, made you excited, made you start jumping up and down. And then what? Stops you right out. Steals all your hopes and dreams. This is why you have to stay disciplined. I told myself I wouldn't trade this, and I have to stay disciplined to it. Because I have reasons for not trading it. It's not just off a whim. I see there's liquidity up here. There's this liquidity target. Overall, price is bullish. So that is why you need to stay disciplined throughout your trading session. Something only experience can teach you. I'm telling you this right now. This was told to me from the beginning of my trading journey. You just need to go through it. Honestly. The faster you can pick it up, that's intelligence. You're just smarter. But me personally, I'm not that smart. Like, I needed to learn things the hard way. But it is what it is. Okay. So I'm going to go back real quick. Okay, right there. So let's see how this trade would have played out if I was at break even right now. You know what? I'm gonna just get out of replay mode real quick. Boom. This trade would have hit take profit like 10 minutes ago, something like that. Would have hit take profit. Would have been a beautiful trade. So that's just a little fix I gotta make with my break-even protocol. Is just something I gotta fix. Now I'm gonna go back into replay mode and go to the Dow. So we're gonna go right here, because this is my second trade. It's not a good trade at all, and I'm gonna explain why. But my first trade, I got stopped out at break even, somewhere over here. Let's go back to when I got stopped out. Okay, I got stopped out right here. I see that I got stopped out. Price is moving in my favor. I do not want to re-enter this trade because that feels like revenge trading to me. I did not want to re-enter the trade. Okay? So what did I do? I shifted my focus to the Dow. What did I see on the Dow? Let's go on the higher time frame. This is the logic I gave myself. But all this logic is invalid because what time is it? 11:45. It's after my trading session. None of this logic matters. The time of day is one of the most important confluences. I could have all the technical confluences I want. If I don't have time of day, there's no way, Jose, I'm taking that trade. So there's this bullish break over here. We can see it didn't close above. Okay, whatever. It's all right. Like, you're selling from a higher high, which is not right. You shouldn't do it. I should have waited for more confirmation. But if this was during the right time of day and there was liquidity targets below, I would see why I might take this trade. Like, this would be a valid trade if this was taken at like, if this setup was at like 9:30, 10 a.m., I would have probably taken this trade. But because of the time, it's invalidated. So that was my supply zone. I saw this breaker structure, bearish candles. So this was my entry on this trade. Let's see what happens. Let's see how this plays out. Got tapped in right there. Show a little bearish move. You get stopped out instantly. Price is simply bullish. There's no reason for me to short here, especially given the time of day. So this was my second trade of the day. So -1R, the first trade up here, that was the first trade over here was a break-even trade. So overall, I'm down 1 risk to reward, 1% on the day. However much I risk, usually 1 RR, that's how much I'm down. Now, a good takeaway for me is after this loss on the Dow, I didn't revenge trade. I was able to keep my composure and I just stepped away. I understood my time is over for trading. My trading session is done. There's no need for me to be trading. Even though I had the urge to make the money back, which is something I have to work towards if I want to be profitable and professional, but I understood that it's not worth it for me to stay on the charts and just stress myself out. I walked away. I reviewed my entire trading session. I did my journaling. And you know what? I feel a lot better that I was able to step away. It shows maturity. Started off the trading session beautifully. Made this mistake right here. Ended it beautifully. There's nothing more I could ask for. You have to ask yourself, what is the best move on the chessboard right now? It doesn't matter if you messed up 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. That doesn't mean you continue messing up. Don't burn the house down just because you made one little mistake. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that was my trading session today. -1R. I labeled it a B day because I did make one mistake. It wasn't perfect, but the mistake was valuable. I took value from it. I learned a lesson. So come back for tomorrow for another trading recap. Peace.